guys, it's Kendra again with WTMAstrology, and today I am talking about 5 reasons that Leo is the worst sign. Now please remember, I'm doing this with all the signs, and all signs are terrible because people are terrible. So this is not a direct attack on Leo. I mean, yes it is, but you're not the only one. So basically what I'm reading to you are responses that I got on my page. I have over 60,000 people following my page, and I asked all those people what they hate about Leo, and they answered. So I condensed all my favorite replies into 5 reasons that Leo is the worst sign. I really hope you enjoy it. So let's get right into it. Number 1 reason that Leo is the worst: they're extremely egotistical. So every sign has their energetic role, and for Leo, the ego is the role that they are playing. They're the sign associated with ego, ruled by the sun, which is the ego in the birth chart. So in that sense, they're just playing out their energetic role, so to speak. But just as anything having to do with the human ego, that energy can get really ugly. Someone said, "I'm dating one right now, and ego, ego, ego." It's actually almost hilarious how egotistical Leo energy can be when at its worst, because it's almost like they're being like caricatures of a really egotistical person. Like, you're thinking, haha, that's just so and so, like they couldn't actually be that egotistical. No one actually acts like that. Then one day they say something and they've got like a dead serious look on their face, and you're just like, oh, you're being for real. So real quick, I'm going to tell you about something that I discovered while doing research for this video. Basically, I have this keywords app that tells me exactly what the search volume is for each keyword term on YouTube, Google, across the internet. So I can see exactly which sign has the most search volume. Now check this out. Leo is the most searched zodiac sign on YouTube with 2,740,000 searches per month. That is 1,240,000 more than the second most searched zodiac sign, Aries. That means that Leo searches on YouTube almost double the searches for any other zodiac sign. That is obscene, Leo. Someone said, "They cannot accept when someone simply does not like them. They make up these ridiculous excuses to explain why someone does not want them to protect their fragile egos." So story time, and this is actually a really long story, but I'm going to condense it as much as I can for the sake of the video. Basically, a few years ago, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, I started talking to this Leo guy. I was kind of interested in him at first, but that fizzled out really quickly because he came on super strong. But we stayed friends for the next few years, and during the whole time we were just friends, he was obsessed. And I only say obsessed because there's really no better word for it. He hit me up constantly, he talked about me to my friends, hoping word would get back to me. He would even harass me and get really mad if I didn't answer his messages and things like that. He even once randomly attacked me in the middle of the night and accused me of leading him on. And we had many conversations about this where I would tell him, "I feel like you're harassing me. You're getting upset every time I don't text you back. Like, I'm under no obligation to talk to you all the time." But he would just get really, really mad about it. And it's classic nice guy syndrome, but it's just very Leonine the way he went about it. Finally, one day, after putting up with this for 2 years, he texted me, "I'm the man you need," in the middle of the night, and I just said, you know, I'm done with this. I'm done with this. So I blocked him. So anyway, in the following week, instead of taking rejection like a normal person, he started messaging my friend and saying,
"Oh, well, I was just trolling her the whole time. So funny. I was wondering when she was actually going to block me, blah, blah, blah."
And she told me this, you know, he knew she would. And I was like, okay, whatever. He's obviously trying to save his pride. So I didn't say anything back, which is apparently what he wanted. I think he like told her that so she would tell me, and then I would like reach out to him and blow up at him or something. I don't know. Well, anyway, I didn't react, which I think made him even more crazy, so he started texting me all this stuff in the one place that I hadn't blocked him. Basically, he was trying to make me feel like the idiot for believing that he was even doing what he was doing the whole time, which is, again, gaslighting. And this was all because he couldn't handle the rejection, so I just told him, "You're a moron," and blocked him there too. Again, this is another extreme example from my life, hashtag not all Leos. But the point is that I know exactly what this person is talking about when they talk about Leos making up extravagant stories in order to prop up their ego. Number 2 reason that Leo is the worst: they take everything personally. Someone said, As a Leo, self and egocentric. Too easy to assume everything's either about me or my fault. Took a long time to learn that frequently things and other people's actions and feelings have nothing to do with me, even if it really feels like it does. Magnetism is an awesome gift and annoying at the same time. I hate being approached all the time and people trying to talk to me. It's true that because Leo is the sign of the ego for them is the reference point for everything. This means that for many Leos, if another person does something or their behavior changes in any way, Leo thinks that this is directly pertaining to them. It can be that the person is feeling low energy or maybe a little bit antisocial or just busy. It's a personal offense to Leo. So Leo will either internalize this and start thinking they did something wrong and beating themselves up, or they'll perceive it as a personal attack and attack that person back. Personally, I can be very bad about replying to text messages, especially if I'm feeling withdrawn or I'm really busy, and it's never a personal thing, and a lot of people have made comments about it, but I've noticed that Leo placements are the ones who tend to take it really personally, and they'll get really mad. Sometimes they want to start a fight with me and I'm like, I'm literally just trying to do my own thing. I'm not trying to fight you. I love you. I don't know why you're trying to fight me. My ex is a Leo moon, and when we first started talking, I didn't reply to a text message for like 10 minutes and then I get another text from him saying,
Okay, I can take a hint.
like, what are you talking about? There was no hint, relax. Number 3 reason that Leo is the worst. They're insecure and they need validation. Now I can already hear the Leos in the comments.
I'm not insecure. I don't need validation. Woo, Leo this, Leo that.
I know exactly what you're gonna say, Leo. The more you deny it, Leo, the worse it looks. Because guess what? When you say you're not insecure because you need other people to think you're not insecure, it again proves that you need that validation. Just saying. This is one that Leo hates to admit. Because again, their whole thing is the ego. They love acting like they have it all together and they don't experience insecurity and they don't ever want to be vulnerable. But to me, this needs to be said, and it's very true, because for me, the louder someone projects their ego, the more insecure I view them as deep down. Extreme ego is always masking something. Someone said, Leo is defensive, so defensive they can't take a joke. Always so worried about how people view them, they need to look good constantly. Leo will put on a face and show people how awesome they are, but get close to one and they'll show you just how insecure they truly are. It can be exhausting putting up with Leo's insecurities. So Leo is super defensive because of their pride. Again, the ego is their energetic role. They are Leo. They're ruled by the sun, the ego in the birth chart. They feel they have to defend their ego at all times because for them, an attack to the ego can feel like a direct attack on who they are at the core of their being. And like this person said, they always have to look good. It's almost like a fake it till you make it mentality. Like, I'm going to keep acting like everything is good until it is. And as a fire sign, I can actually really respect that. But with Leo, it's more like a need. They're really tightly wound and they really have to project that everything in their life is perfect all the time. Someone else said, the most insecure of the zodiac. They need constant validation and reassurance because without it, they'll have a crisis. They're messy and hoard the dumbest things. They spend an absurd amount of time on their daily routine, but still preen anytime they see themselves in a slightly reflective surface. Like a fat cat, they roll over easy and submit to anyone that will stroke their belly, ego, impulsively spend far more money than they have because shopping gives them a bigger dopamine rush than looking in the mirror. In my experience, Leo does need constant validation. Like, they can't just be happy for themselves and proud of what they've done. They need other people to enthusiastically validate them for it as well. So back to that Leo guy I was talking about before that I ended up blocking. He sent me a picture of dinner he made one time, so I just said, I didn't think it required much of a reply. But he flipped out because apparently my response was not to his liking. It wasn't enthusiastic enough. So I just said, what do you want, a standing ovation? He didn't like that either because I'm pretty sure he actually did want a standing ovation. Number 4 reason that Leo is the worst. They're showy and dramatic. Someone said, how showy they are. Not in a fun way, just in a way where they have to constantly one-up you. Unable to make long-term decisions because they usually get caught up in drama constantly or can't see past what they're currently doing. Will guilt trip you if you try to call them out on their behavior. Seems like all the Leos I've been involved with were less mature than I was. Leo will dramatically tell you how much they hate drama, but of course they not so secretly love drama. When I'm talking to a Leo and they're telling me about their lives, it really seems like they view their lives as a movie and themselves as the protagonist of the story. I can't even be mad about it because, like I said a million times, this is literally your energetic function, but I'm not gonna lie, it can be a lot. Someone said, "One thing I've learned about myself as Leo is that when it comes to arguments, my pride overrides my feelings. If I could just give in and have an emotional, calm talk instead of just storming off, it would probably save a lot of drama." So this is very true. Leo is not someone who's fun to have any kind of disagreement with because usually they're not as focused on finding a solution to the problem as they are heightening the drama of the situation. It gives them some kind of dopamine rush or something. When my Leo moon ex and I would fight, it was always a huge ordeal because neither one of us were focused on finding a solution. He was focused on the drama, being a Leo moon, and for me, being an Aries, I just enjoyed fighting. Number 5 reason that Leo is the worst. They are mean when their pride is hurt. Someone said, "When Leo feels hurt, kitten has claws. They will go for the jugular and can be vicious and personal when they lash out." Because Leo can perceive things that aren't personal as very personal, they'll be very personal in the way that they react. They'll be straight up mean if they think it's justified, which may or may not actually be the case. Someone said, "As a Leo, I can say that if our pride is injured in any way, we will become the angriest, most bitter, most petty, most vindictive person you've ever seen. Luckily, it doesn't happen often, but when it does, watch out. Of course, it's because it hurts us so much, but we don't want you to know that." And here we have another Leo admitting that they lash out because they would rather do that any day than actually be vulnerable. Leo, if you would just admit vulnerability rather than lashing out, the problem could be worked through much more quickly. And people who love you are willing to work through it with you. And this didn't make the list. I feel like it was said over and over again in so many words, but it came up enough that I feel like it does need to be mentioned, and Leo is a fixed sign, so stubborn. Leos are stubborn. Anyway, that is the end of my 5 reasons Leo is the worst video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more just like it. And please, if you have anything that you would like to add for any of the future videos, Virgo through Pisces, I would love to hear it and I would love to have some of you contribute to my future videos. Again, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.